Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another Peter Lennox automotive video. And today we're going to do something a little bit different. It's not a car of the week, and we're not selling you this car. We're just going to do a quick walkthrough and sort of a detailed example of what a new Mercedes such as this 2022 GLC300 coupe C253, the last of the C253, has in it. A lot of our customers are always eager to see what the latest cars have, some of the features, how they work, and today we thought we'd just do a feature on this car, which is not currently for sale, but it is loaded with options, some of the latest technology from Mercedes, being a very new car. It is beautiful to look at, as you can see, and we'll go into briefly over some of the features and technology inside it, so you can get a view of what it is like to drive or I guess use one of these new Mercedes. Now, this particular model is a 2022 GLC300, presented in one of the new paint colors. This is the Graphite Grey Metallic. It is stunning to look at, I can tell you. Very nice, as you can see. I don't know if the footage is going to do it justice. It is very nice to look at. It's got the AMG 20-inch wheels, as you can see right there, and as you can see on this newer GLC, the coupe especially, it's got the large, chunky looking tires. It provides and creates a very nice ride, very smooth compared to some of the low profile tires that are seen on earlier models. So very nice Dunlop tires right there. It's got the LED high performance headlights. It does have radar cruise control, so it's got all the technology you could really want. One of the big features here is Mercedes Me. Now, this is the 22 model, so it's got the latest version, or one of the latest versions of the Mercedes Me, and you can do things like, hey Mercedes, open the sunroof, or change radio stations and other things like this, even more advanced. So we'll go into some of those features when we get inside. This particular car's got the smartphone integration package, which does Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. It's also got the AMG sports suspension, which we'll discuss just very briefly, which lets you lower the height and adjust the suspension, the big wheels. Now, this actual car has the AMG 20-inch wheels and wider wheel arches for AMG wheels. So you can see this lip here. That's been put on there just to make it legal, because the wheels do sit out quite a bit more than, let's say, the standard wheels do, and they do look great doing it. So one of the neat features that I like, it's actually got the automatic rear boot, and you can just kick your leg under the bumper like so, and it will open up the rear tailgate, as you can see, which is nice. And here's a view of the coupe rear boot size. It is quite decent, and there's a sneak peek of the interior. Now, to close it, you can kick also like so, and the car should lock itself like so. You have to get a bit used to it. I haven't used too many of those, but that's another new feature on this 2022 GLC300. It also has the AMG Sports Package Plus, engine sound via speakers, which is something we'll show you inside, super sport steering wheel, the AMG line on the interior and exterior. Now, this AMG lip spoiler is a nice addition. On the GLC, let's say 63, it's a very large spoiler, but on this AMG line, they give you quite a nice subtle look, but still makes it look very sporty, as you can see there. It's got the night package, and we'll go into detail on what that is. And this car even has the agility select program, so you can change the program on the car and how it behaves. All right, so let's go into some of these features and show you around. Okay, so let's start with the AMG semi-active air suspension. So the AMG is Mercedes' advanced semi-active air suspension system. It allows the vehicle to automatically adjust the firmness of the suspension based on driving conditions and the selected driving mode. This results in a smoother ride and improved handling. as well as the ability to raise or lower their vehicle for better ground clearance and aerodynamics. Now on these new versions of these, it's been around for many years, but on these new versions it does some amazing stuff, and really does make the ride very, very comfortable. If you're in sport mode, it will lower the car. On the highway, it will lower the car. You can also raise the vehicle if you're going over bumpier terrain. It just smooths all the bumps out, and on these new cars it is really amazing to experience. Now this particular GLC300 with the AMG Sports Package and Sports Package Plus has the wider wheel arches for AMG wheels, which I mentioned before. So as you can see, these are 20-inch AMG wheels, which look quite nice with the polished lip on the outside and the black finish. And to make them legal, because you can't have the wheels in Australia to stick out past the body, they actually make wider wheel arches to accommodate the larger wheels. This enhances grip with the larger wheels and also makes the vehicle really nice and sporty. So that's just another feature on this brand new GLC300, which you might have not seen on previous models. Okay, and if you look at the car, apart from the very, very nice graphite metallic grey paint, you'll see it's very sporty and quite an aggressive look to it. So this one does feature the AMG Styling package, which is an optional cosmetic upgrade available on some Mercedes models. It includes distinctive exterior design elements such as the AMG specific bumpers, side skirts, and gives the vehicle a sportier, more aggressive look. But this particular car also has the AMG Sports Package Plus, which typically includes enhancements to the vehicle's performance and aesthetics. So it does have the sports tuned suspension, larger, more powerful brakes, unique interior trims, and you'll see the very nice leather clad with red stitching interior throughout, additional exterior styling elements, and just a really much more nicer driving dynamic. So the Sports Package Plus, as seen on this car, does make the car just look that much more sporty and exciting. Now you also get the night package on this particular car, and what does that include these days? Well, it includes blacked out exterior elements. So for example, you see these exhausts, these are black, sort of shiny black finish. It matches the diffuser, and various accenting throughout the car has been blacked out, such as black grills, window surrounds, mirror caps. It creates a sleek and sophisticated look, especially when combined with darker paint colors such as this Graphite Grey Metallic, and it does really look good. So the night package is featured on this particular car, and as you can see, the mirror, it's got that very dark black finish. It is very, very nice. Okay, so let's have a look on the inside and go through some of the technology on the inside, which is where a lot of the new stuff is happening. But before we do, GLC300, it's a very zippy car, 6.2 seconds 0 to 100, 190 kilowatts, 370 newton meters of torque, and that's what some of these new motors can do. It's a 4-cylinder 2-liter, but produces almost 200 kilowatts, which is really remarkable. Great fuel economy, and still very, very quick for a large, medium to large SUV. This is actually a very quick car, 6.2 seconds. All right, let's step inside, and this is where it really does get exciting, because a lot of the new technology in these new cars actually sits on the inside. So let's go through some of the features which you might not know about and play around with it. Okay, so we've stepped inside out of the sun because it's hard to show all the features in the sun on the interior. It's glaring really strongly. So let's go inside, open up this 2022 GLC300, and just have a look at some of the features on this car. So it does have the powered seats with memory function and heating, which is really nice. Full controls for your windows, and as we go in here, you can now see the red stitching throughout the dash on these really nice seats, as you can see, and the red stitching goes throughout, and that's part of the Sports Package Plus. It just enhances the vehicle, makes it a lot more sporty. Yeah, really nice touches throughout. Now this here is a very nice steering wheel, and this is what they actually call Super Sport a sports steering wheel. This particular one has the flat spoke bottom and is finished with nice Alcantara leather through there. It does have the pedal shift and all the new Mercedes controls through there. So very nice and very sporty too. Let's jump inside this car, let's start it up, let's have a look at all the new command system with the touchpad. There's no more dial like on the older Mercedes, they've gone away with that. It's got the touchpad and then you control everything through the steering wheel. We'll go into more detail on that. We'll have a look at the Android Auto, for example, connect that up and just go through some of the features. Okay, there we go. We'll step inside. Plenty of room. Very comfortable, these new GLCs. And as you can see, this particular car's done just over 8,000 kilometers. There it is. It's got the large LCD instrument cluster, but still retains that classic kind of look on the outside, which I reckon is really nice. Some of the new models just have a large flat screen. A lot of people don't like that. I don't mind it, but on this car they've sort of combined the latest technology, which is the large LCD screen, with that more traditional look, you know, instrument cluster, and it is quite nice. As you can see, and then you get the large widescreen command system here, and the very nice dials and command, you know, climate control through here, and the interior, as you can see, very nice. And again, there's no dial here; it's all touchpad. Let's go turn the car on and see some of the features. So the keyless go is just here. Put on the brake, press the button, and as you can see, the car starts up and it looks like it's in the sporty mode with the nice, you know, very reddish and orangey style instrument cluster there. Put the volume down, and there's a new command system through here. Okay, let's it is quite warm in Melbourne today, so we'll put the blower setting to 0 or the fan speed to 1. And let's start off with the instrument cluster on these new cars to show you how that works. Okay, so you control the instrument cluster screen or computer via this right hand side touchpad, and this here controls pretty much all the functionality. So just by swiping up and down you can change the different settings like that, like so, as you can see. So you can have, you know, all your trip meter, economy, range, your odometer, your speed, all your standard car features, and you can just cycle through them, so like so, very easily. Now if you swipe to the right, it actually engages the right hand side instrument cluster there, and you can actually, let's do it again. As you can see, the highlight turns to the right, and you can go from the RPM meter to having your maps shown in there, which is really nice. You can also have your economy display, trip meters, your G-force, and again your RPMs. So a very nice advanced LCD screen system, but it is very easy to use, so you don't have to be scared of, if you haven't driven, you know, these new Mercedes. It is not really scary. It is very easy to use. You'd be surprised. It's actually probably easier to change the settings on here than it is on, let's say, on a, you know, a 6 to 8 year old Mercedes. Even though there's a lot more happening here. So that's really all there is to it, and you can go into more detailed settings in here, but that's how you control the instrument cluster. Now let's go into the command system, and then we'll go into some of the other features in more detail. Alright, so the command system is controlled traditionally via the command dial here, and just by swiping, as you can see, I can change various settings, but you can also control it through the steering wheel touchpad just here, like so, and you can go up and down, which is really nice, and I like these touchpads on the steering wheel. But today we'll use the traditional touchpads just here, and I'll show you just some of the screens on here. So this is the, you know, one of the latest versions of the command system on the C253, like this 22 model. And you can scroll through various settings in here. It's got phone, navigation, radio, which is digital radio, then media, and it's got, USB connections, Bluetooth, audio streaming. You can do all sorts of things in here. Basically everything you could imagine is on here, including Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. We'll go into that in detail more later. Comfort and ambient lighting, we'll show you that. Information on the vehicle and Mercedes Me and apps, which is really nice. And then you got settings in here which let you do all sorts of cool things to the car. Okay, so let's step into the settings and go through some of those. So just by clicking on there, you touch back like on a laptop, and these are some of the assistant settings, which are plenty in this vehicle. So active lane keeping assist, so it actually detects the lines on the road and keeps you within your lane. Stops you from drowsing. If you do drives off on the long highway, it will keep you in the lane and will alert you and try and make you active. Active brake assist, so if for example you're distracted, the car will brake for you, and there's different levels of that you can set on there. Attention assist, if you're getting a bit drowsy on a long trip from Melbourne to Sydney, for example, the little coffee cup here, the car will have its ways to either make a sound or display something, make some beeping noise that will actually get your attention. Active blind spot assist, which has common on a lot of new cars these days, but it basically has a triangle in the mirror on the Mercedes and lets you see if there's someone in your blind spot before you turn, and will beep if you are. Active lane changing assist will help you change lanes, and route-based speed adaptation, so that's more advanced mapping system through there. Now if we go into here and go into vehicle, we get into dynamic select. Now I'll quickly go into this because we do cover dynamic select quite often in our videos. What dynamic select actually lets you do is if I press the dynamic select button, which is just here, if I select that button, it lets me change the vehicle and its characteristics. On this particular model, it adjusts the engine, suspension, steering and the ESP. So you can have it on Sport Plus, individual, where you can change all individual settings, so you can have a sporty steering but more of a lazy transmission, comfort and economy. So they all do what they pretty much say. Economy will give you best economy, might make the car a bit sluggish, not as responsive. Comfort will make everything softer, more comfortable, a nicer ride. Sport is I think a good option to be most of the time. It makes the car more responsive. It does feel really good. Sport Plus is a lot more aggressive, so if you're on a twisty road or you want to have some fun, and again individual is goes back to the standard settings, so it is quite nice. That's dynamic select, and then through here you can adjust a lot of common options, such as the automatic locking, or acoustic lock, belt adjustment, easy entry exit, and things like even winter tires. Now the ambient lighting under the lights option, this is a nice feature on these newer cars. This car does have the nice version of the ambient lighting. So as you can see here, you can actually go in here and select the color. So it's got an RGB wheel. You can have multicolor animation, so it'll actually change the colors, like a lava light for example. And then it's got effects, welcome effect, different climate effect, so you can have those on and off. So when you enter the car, you might have different colors. And currently we've got multicolor animation selected. And if we go back here, you can select the brightness, and it's currently on the highest level. Let's put it on the highest so we can really demonstrate it here in the workshop. It is very bright today. This feature is amazing, obviously, when it gets a bit darker. But let's have a look. Currently, you can see the highlights through there, under the doors there, under the dash. For example, on my shoes, you can see that color. It's got quite a pinkish kind of purplish color at the moment that it's selecting, and it will change that color depending on what's happening. And in the back you can really see the pink color right there. So a very nice feature, and really does make the car very personal. So let's go out of there, back into the main settings. Then you got, you know, exterior and interior lights and surround lighting, so that's your mirrors, how much they project onto the ground. Now this here, surround lighting, is you can turn it on and off, but it is a really nice feature. So this car actually does have the logo projection via the door illumination. So that's currently on. Let's open the doors and have a look at how that looks. And there you go. When you open the door, it actually projects a really high resolution, even in, you know, what is pretty much broad daylight here in the sales showroom. You can see the Mercedes logo projected really nicely onto that. You can imagine how nice that would look when it gets a bit darker or at night. Really makes an impression, a really wow, cool feature, and this car does have it. And the Mercedes-Benz entrance seals illuminated through there. It really does, you know, make the car that much more nicer to enjoy and experience. All right, and if we get out of there, we can go into the system, and here you can have the styles of displays, controls, audio, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, time zone, units, all sorts of different things. We won't go into detail into some of these others, but we will go into audio, and here you can actually have various settings for park assist, acoustic feedback, and voice output. So there's a lot of different settings in here that you can actually enjoy. Let's go into entertainment, you know, and you've got your mids, trebles, bass that you can adjust, frequency, and all sorts of other changes that you can go into, which is quite nice. So that's the general settings, and now let's go into some of the features, such as the information display right here. So you can have all sorts of things displayed about the vehicle. It really is like a computer game, you could say. If you step on the gas, you'll see the gas moving up there. If you step on the brake, you can see how hard I'm pressing the brake. So that's if you're having fun with the car. You can see how the engine is working, the power output. As you can see, if I rev the engine, the power goes up, the engine torque and whatnot, air pressure, battery voltage. You can see your consumption. So yeah, some really nice features in here. And if we go into here, you can go straight into there. Alright, so you got ambient lighting and comfort, which we went into before. Now that's as a shortcut on the front. Now media and Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, I'll show you that shortly. Let's go into navigation. Here we are in Thomastown, Northgate Drive. This one does have the very, very nice maps, full screen, very high resolution, everything you could want. It's basically got it built in, and the phone package is part of the Android Auto, let's say, or Apple CarPlay. So we'll show you that in just a bit. Okay, so there you have it. Now, a really nice feature on these new command system is if you swipe down on the main command system, you can actually have themes. So the themes change how the car behaves, and how the instrument cluster looks, and also the command system. But it does more than just the looks. Obviously, it's how the car behaves. So if you go on a trip or an experience, or let's say lounge, different themes, you can set it up to have different you know, dynamic select or agility select. So you can have it to be sporty engine, sporty, you know, suspension, sporty steering wheel, depending on what you're doing. Let's go through some of the settings in here. Let's try the trip setting. So as you can see, it changes the command system. It also changes the instrument cluster to the more traditional style one, and automatically selects the maps on here, which is neat. Now if we click back on home and we go down, that's the trip. Now let's go to the experience setting, which is the more you know, sporty driving setting, which we were on before. So it goes to that nice sporty instrument cluster and automatically shows you the engine output, engine torque, on the command system through here, so you don't have to go looking for it. And this is obviously the experience, so this is when you're driving, having a bit of fun with the car. Efficiency, so this is if you want to be economical. So the focus here is obviously economy. which shows you your consumption and also changes your instrument cluster to the economy display, encouraging you to get off the right foot and take it easy. Let's go home. Let's go down again. Now the lounge setting activates the radio automatically, and changes a few different settings that are on there. Standard is what is usually on the car when you purchase it, so that's a really nice feature to have these themes, and you can actually personalize and change the themes to your heart's content and make them the way you want. So a really nice feature. And if we keep swiping down, you have your favorites, so you can actually select different things, such as, for example, here we've got let's see, ambient lighting. If you like to go into ambient lighting a lot and change the colors or the brightness, you can have it as part of your favorites. And as you can see, there's a few different options that have been selected on there, which is quite nice. Now let's go back home, which goes back to navigation. This car also comes with a 360 camera system, so you can actually press the parking button here, or parking activation, and it will actually scan the car park as you drive and assist you in parking, which is really nice. And there's different settings you can go through here. So this is the sensor. Then you've got the front camera. You've got the bird's eye view with the front, sides, rear camera, as you can see, and rear with bird's eye view. So full 360 camera on this car, and it's got the latest version of it, which is really neat. Now this particular car also comes with the road sign recognition feature, which uses a camera and sensors to detect and recognize road signs, such as speed limits, stop signs, no entry signs, and then displays these on the vehicle's dashboards or the heads-up display, to help you stay informed about important traffic signals and the speed limit. So if we have a look at, for example, on here, you can see on just the heads-up display there. It's a little bit tricky to view, but you can see the heads-up display on this vehicle, which is showing you that you've got all the assists on, such as the steering assist, lane keeping assist, discerning cruise control, and currently it's showing you direction of travel and the speed limit. But it will show you the speed. It'll show you the speed and other signs and help you drive as you go, to make sure you don't get in trouble. So, which is a nice feature, and is really only seen on the latest new high-end tech models. Now let's go into the Android Auto side of things. This car does have the smartphone integration package with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. I've got an Android phone, so we'll connect that up. It is connected. It does work via the lead, so you connect it inside the glove box here. You can just run the lead out or leave your phone inside, because what the Android Auto or Apple CarPlay does is it lets you access most of your favorite and safe to drive and use apps via the command system in the Mercedes here. So I've just connected it up. As you can see, it says accept and start, so let's try that. We'll accept it and start it. Starting Android Auto, and as you can see, the Android Auto has now started. Welcome to Android Auto. So you can actually now use the command system or the touchpad on your screen here, as you can see, and this is controlling the phone. So I can click continue. Takes a few seconds to get going. And Android Auto now loads up on the screen here, as you can see. So it personalizes the car or the command system to whatever you're using on your phone. So example, for me, I've got home, work, I've got the maps showing just here. You've got, let's say your Herald Sun articles or your podcasts. You can click on maps like so, and it will make the map larger. You can have a split screen view like that. You can have all your different apps showing just like that. So you got the Mercedes Me app, and a lot of other things, your news, your messenger, podcasts, and you can scroll like this even on the screen. So it is a touchscreen. Normally we use it via the command system, but you can actually just touch it and use it, which is really nice. So you basically feel like your phone is on there. You got your phone, you can speak to Google and make it do all sorts of things, which is really nice, and just shows you how advanced some of these new vehicle systems are. Okay, and finally the Mercedes Me functionality, which I've connected to my phone. Using your phone, as you can see on the screen here, you can see the vehicle details, the status. You can remotely start the engine, you can unlock the windows, you can unlock the sunroof, you can lock the car. So you can control a lot of features. For example, if it's really cold, you can start the car, have it warm up. You can do all sorts of things. You can control the ambient lighting, the functionality of the doors, the lights. There's a whole host of options, as you can see on the screen there, that you can play with the car, and that's part of the Mercedes Me functionality, which is really good, and is included on this 2022 GLC300. So there you have it. Hope you enjoyed this brief walkthrough and summary of some of the new features on the outside of the new GLC 300, or even some of the new technology features on the inside. We always like to tell people, don't be scared. If you haven't driven these new high performance, high-tech vehicles, they are very accessible, they are nice to drive, and the features are not really all that scary. If you're looking for one of these, give us a call. This particular one is not for sale, just an example of what we've got, but these are going to be available very soon through the used car network such as us. And yeah, give us a call if you're looking for one of these. Thank you for watching.